wonderful people, Groovy Mom here, back with another recipe. The one I was talking about yesterday actually in my quick update, and it is one of my all-time favorites, baked macaroni and cheese. I make a lot of macaroni and cheese. As of recently, it's been in the Instant Pot or it's been in a crock pot because generally I'm making it for a crowd and I want to keep it warm for, you know, a couple hours or whatever where people are serving themselves. But this is my actual favorite macaroni and cheese recipe. This is the one that I started with probably 20 years ago and still love to make, but I haven't made it in a while. And as things go, Carlito requested for his birthday dinner to have pulled pork and macaroni and cheese, baked macaroni and cheese, so I did make it. It was delicious and it reminded me of all the reasons why I love to make the baked macaroni and cheese. So I'm making it again for my father-in-law because it's also one of his favorite recipes and it is his birthday. So I'm going to make a double batch and make one to keep at home and freeze and one to give to Grandpa Joe so he can portion it out and freeze some and eat it whenever he wants. So I'm very excited. Come along with me while I make one of my favorite recipes. I have all of my ingredients assembled together, I do believe. This recipe is made off of the recipe I got, I think, off of a Creamette box years ago. And then it's kind of evolved since then, so I think it's, I don't know, I think there's more spices in here, and some of them are to my own taste. So some of them you may want to omit because you might not want them in your recipe. And don't mind me, I have to fuel up on some more coffee. I did not have enough this morning. What I'm going to start with, and this is also doubled again, just reminding you the recipe that I'm posting is for one pan versus two pans like I'm doing. I almost always double this because I have a large family and they eat more than a smaller family. But you can double and you can freeze. It freezes good. It reheats good. This stuff is delicioso. I'm going to turn your attention over to the pan here. I've been spending a lot of time trying to edit videos and make them interesting, and I'm not interesting but visually appealing. I might stop that because it takes up my time. I'd rather be cooking. And I'm also realizing that when I cut things out, I'm yapping half the time, so I don't remember what I've said to you. So if I repeat myself, it's not because I'm that old, okay? So let's start out, well, maybe it is. Let's start out with the butter. I'm doing, like I said, one stick. I'm also going to, this calls for minced onion, and I'm going to just use my cheese grater and mince up some onion. It says quarter cup, but I'm just going to go ahead and kind of add as I see fit. I'm just doing it right over the butter. And this is another thing you can omit if you're not wild about onion flavors. I think it adds just another layer, the onion layer. It adds another layer to the recipe, so I do like to add it, but by all means, do not if you're not an onion person. It's not gonna make or break the recipe. But so right now we're just working on the roux. So here's the roux going here, or starting. I got the butter. I'm going to add the spices. So this is the paprika and garlic powder, salt and pepper. I added a little bit of cayenne over here because I like some heat. Again, you don't have to add it if you don't want to. So I'm going to get those going in there right quick. Oops, do I have that light on? I can't tell if you can see it or not with the light on. It just seems like when I have the light on, it's got quite a glare. So to this, I'm going to go ahead and add my flour. And I'm going to let that kind of bubble a little bit. It smells delicious. I think I was supposed to add 2 sticks of butter. That's right. My bad. Another forgiving, easy recipe. And this isn't gonna, again, make or break. I forgot I was doubling. I doubled everything but the butter. Can't forget that. Hello. Hello. The last piece of this, I will tell you, is that I add a crust, or not a crust, I add a topping to it. So I add a breadcrumb topping to it. You may or may not want that, but that is like everybody's favorite part of this. So if I don't add it, people get a little bit angry with me. So I am going to add that at the end, and I can walk you through how I make mine. Unfortunately, that's another thing, like I just do not measure. So I apologize. All right, so to this I'm going to add, it's bubbling now. Yeah. Looks a little better to you. To this I'm going to slowly add my milk. And I'm whisking the whole time just to get all the nice flavorful bits off the bottom. So this is going to go over kind of a low to medium heat. See, I told you I didn't have all my coffee. Now we got it. Now we got it going. Now we'll be able to think straight. Sorry for slurping. So now that we got this going, we're going to whisk it continually, or stir it continually if that's what you've got. And I will come back in a little bit. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how your heat is, for it to get, like you can kind of see it's getting a little silky, a little thickened up already, but it's going to get thicker. So we want to get it to it's actually bubbling, to where it actually bubbles, actually thickens up. And then we're going to add the cheese. Excuse me, ooh, had a little moment there. Then we're going to add the cheese. So hang tight, and I will be back for the cheese. So it's been about 5 minutes, and you can still see it's still got that kind of just silky, sexy texture to it, which is what we want. And it doesn't seem like it's doing much, but you can see the little, this like froth coming up to the top. So you know it's doing something. It just kind of looks like it doesn't. But now you can see it's getting even more silky. That's good. And I've got my noodles over here waiting. I boiled 2 pounds of noodles for that. This is getting so close. Do you see how this is resisting the whisk even more and more? It's making less of a ripple effect. Yeah, that's what we're looking for, baby. All right, I want to show you one more thing, and I hope you can see it. Here's another way to kind of know you're almost there besides seeing it thicken up, is that if I give it a good stir, and then I kind of stop and just observe, I can still see it rising up from underneath, and see, you can see. If I just let this go, it's going to make my stove very dirty, if you know what I mean. So this is where you want it. This is the good stuff. I'm going to keep it here for about 1 more minute, and then I'm going to add the cheese. Oops, I did it again. I completely did not hit record. The entire time I was making this. So I apologize. I don't have it all on video. But basically what I did was bring that roux up to a nice bubble, take it off the heat, and add some cheese. And I added about 3/4 cheddar cheese, and then I did the rest Gouda. I like to mix up a couple different cheese. This does not have to be go out and buy some super expensive cheese that you don't even know how to pronounce kind of thing. You can use all cheddar. You can use some cheddar, some Gouda. What I usually like to do no matter what is use about 3/4 cheddar, and then I actually add about 1/4 cup of Parmesan just for a little kick, and then I add the rest, you know, another thing. And today I use Gouda, but just make sure you get that sharp cheddar in there, and then you can use whatever you want. You can try mozzarella if you want. It's a very mild cheese, but if you don't like it to be too crazy, that would be fine. And so look at that. So our sauce to noodle ratio, it looks really creamy. It's going to bake up nice. Nice, nice, nice. Sometimes I add Tabasco to this, but because I'm making it for somebody else, I'm not going to, because you can always add it at the end, just when you're about to eat it. But look at that. That's like delish. Delish. It just makes you want to cry. Oh, that is yummy. And if I ate it right now, it would be G-O-O-D, hello good. I'm telling you. I am telling you. This is the bomb diggity. Bomb. So now I have to go get my disposable pans, and I will be right back. And then this could go in the oven at 350. I mean, that does conclude the recipe. Moving on to the topping. So no, you know, when you say breadcrumb topping, one would assume that yes, you would be using breadcrumbs. Well, just like my milk, I don't have any breadcrumbs. If I had Ritz crackers, that would be a good substitute. Those buttery crackers are delicious. But instead, I have these. I'm crunching up the cornflakes in here. And cornflakes are good. I mean, if you made breadcrumb toppings or crunchy toppings, I mean, what matters is you have something crunchy, something buttery, and you bake it, and it tastes delicious. That's the whole point of this. Okay, so as you can see, I'm just crunching these up in here. Easiest. So a stick of butter, and then what I'm also going to do is I like to add some olive oil to that. I'm going to add a wee bit of garlic. And I'm going to show you one of my silly tricks. I cannot reach the top of my spice thing. Just use my tongs. If I don't want to get my step stool. Yeah. If it works, right? I don't measure, again for this, I would say for this amount, I may be using, what's that look like? Half a teaspoon maybe of that. And then I'm gonna also add a wee spanking of salt. Yep, probably about the same. Probably about a teaspoon of salt to that. And then the other thing that I do like to add would be some parsley, mostly just for color, just because it looks nice. So I'm going to add probably about a tablespoon of parsley on there. Flavors of the mac and cheese are going to come up into this, and they're just going to make it out of this world. Yeah, this looks better. Okay. Okay, so here we go. We're just going to sprinkle that on. All right, so I put some extra breadcrumbs on his because he loves them. And then I'm just going to pop this in the oven, 350, no cover. You don't want to cover because you want it to bubble. You want it to get bubbly and sassy. So we'll come back and I'll show you the end product. So here it is in all of its glory. And by golly, it smells delicious. And unfortunately, I can't even take a bite of it because it's a gift. But I can, if I wanted to, take a bite of this one because for the most part, it's cooked. It is yummy. Oh, I'm gonna spend time with Mr. Mister. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thanks for hanging out with me.